All right, all right. Thanking the Lord for so much. Giving a great shout out to everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Major shout out to my boy Vikish. God bless you. In this video, we're talking about being single as a Christian, as a man of God, and trying to live in the things that we fight with. And oftentimes, these things are overlooked and being talked about in the church. When the truth be told, we all fight with sin. We all fight with flesh. And I'm doing this video for all the single men around the world who, asked me about doing this video and how it is so important to stay focused. And that word right there is the key, staying focused. A lot of people are single, but they are not focused. And I always tell people when you are single, that's the best time to get yourself right, get yourself together, get your relationship even more closer with God. Now, let's talk about some of these things as a single man and how hard it is. I ain't gonna sit here and say it's easy. When you trying to live right and live for God, and temptation is all around us every day. Temptation on your job, temptation when you're outside of your job, temptation on the church ground. Uh-oh. Temptation just all over, and we all fight with temptation. And as a single man, how you try to go without having sex and doing the right thing, but find yourself doing the wrong thing. And here's what I tell a lot of people that's single when they ask me these questions. If you're a single man, why are you going after a hoe? Just keep it real. We're talking about Christian men now. People who call themselves Christians and claiming to be living for God. If you are living for God, why go after a hoe? I was talking to this guy the other day, and he was telling me how he can't make this girl see his way because he was telling her how she need to get in church and do this and do that, and he was a Christian. Well, first of all, that's the whole point of Paul telling us don't be unequally yoked. You can't go this way and go that way. And he himself, his situation is he got a problem drinking and smoking and whoring around. But he's quote unquote a Christian. So why would that girl listen at him? You know what she's gonna tell him? You smoke, you drink, you trying to get me right, but you ain't right. This is why God had us as men to be leaders, to stand on what's right and to live the way God say live. It's a whole lot of men they want to lead, but they haven't learned how to lead. They want a woman to follow them, but they are not doing nothing right. So the woman is following herself. Yes, though you fight not to sleep around, say you don't have no woman at all, like we talking about in this video, and then here comes this pornography. Okay, you're not whoring around, but then your biggest problem is yourself and your hand and your masturbating. See, it's no way around it. And I know somebody ain't gonna agree with that because you are in this flesh. And when I say there is no way around it, I'm not saying that to say that God is weak. I'm saying that we will not be all the way okay until we get out of this flesh. This is a fight. I don't care if you're a preacher, whatever your title is on down. You can been saved 30, 40 years, but you are fighting with your flesh, with something. Somebody got a smoking problem. If you ain't got a smoking problem, you got a drinking problem. If you don't have a drinking problem, you got a problem with women. You got a problem lying, steady. There's something wrong. Yes, it is hard to live this life in this fleshly body. Jesus said hard is the way when he was talking about heaven. When you tie all scriptures in together, look at the word of God, and when you are living a single life, it becomes very difficult. Yes, it have advantages and disadvantages. One of the advantages I like to say is that when you are single and you by yourself and you don't have no kids, that is a great thing. But at the same time, being single can turn you all the way down. Sometimes being by yourself for so long can scar you. Sometimes you're going to get tired of yourself. And sometimes you get so to the point where you done been alone that when somebody want to do something for you, you won't even allow them to do nothing for you in your time of struggling. Because all you know is self. Now, back to let's get on dating. I heard preachers telling people that it's a sin to date. Now, I don't know nobody that's going to just walk up and marry somebody. I don't know about y'all, but in JT's eyes and what JT going to do, he's going to have to date. And the sad thing is when you're dating somebody and when you think you done learned them all the way, They just becoming brand new to you, ain't they? You would never figure a person out. Never. I don't care who you are. You'll waste your whole lifetime trying to figure a woman out. A woman can change at the snap of a finger. Some men change like that. And we got women after women now and men after men. So we see what's going on and how hard it is to even stay right. Some people are good when they get married together. Some are better as a couple. But then there are some people that they ain't got no business getting married. Because they know in their heart they ain't going to do right. But that was the whole thing why we was talking about in the old video about when Paul said he wished people could remain single. And Jesus was saying it was better to marry than to burn. It's a lot of single people. Christians are burning in their flesh right now. Why do you think homosexuality is all over the church? Why do you think most of the women that's becoming pregnant at such a young age is in the church? See, we want to hide and stop talking about what's going on in the church. No, this stuff is going on in the world and in the church, because if churches would start teaching like they need, I believe a lot of this stuff would be kind of handled different. And when you don't have nobody to talk to, and then it's sad enough, you got some churches that's blocking these kind of conversations out. People, the youth need to know about marriage. They need to know about sex. They need to know where it came from. They need to know how it started. And we walk around here acting like, oh, sex is such a bad thing. No, God designed sex. Now, we have been the ones that abused it. God made marriage, covenant, man and woman under God. That's a beautiful thing. We the ones that mess up everything. Being single, you take that time to learn yourself. Go to the park by yourself. Go out to eat by yourself. Talk to yourself. Figure out yourself. Because the problem is, if you don't love yourself, why in the world you getting in these relationships? And then you're going out dating anybody. It's hard for a believer to date an unbeliever. How are you going to work? It's going to be impossible. Here we are saying that we love the Lord so much and we want to live, we want to be blessed right, but still we going in all the wrong places looking for a woman because of the outer appearance. I don't care how fine that woman is in her body. Don't you know the fine ones are messed up in their head a lot, but not all of them? You so caught on the body. You ever walk into a fine woman, walk up to her, and she is just so beautiful and she fine, but she don't have nothing going. Her mind is just gone. All she is conceited and stuck on herself. You ask her what she want out of life, she can't even tell you. She just caught on how good she looked. It's some men walking around like that. Why do you want to keep going after the outside appearance? See, you got to look past these 34, 26, what is it, the old brick house song. You got to look past that shape, that figure. I can't think of the number I was looking for, but not to jump off into that. You got to get past that fine butt. Those big old pretty firm titties. See, I'm finna speak real in this video. You got to look past a lot of that stuff and see what is on this woman's mind. What is her heart like? How's her relationship with God? Why am I going after these hoes, Christian men? And Christian women, why are you going after the thugs? And you want to try to change that man, or man, you're trying to change that woman. Don't you know, people, you can't change nobody. God do the changing. And here it is, you trying to bring them up to their level, up to your level, and they make you fall down to their level. Now you done got further away from God. See, this is what Paul was talking about. Because anything hinders you in front of God and keep you from getting closer to God, you got to get it off in front of you. And what's sad, somebody's own wife right now is keeping them close from getting close to God. Somebody's husband keeping them from getting close to God. When you marry somebody that's way off track, then you crying for God to beg you out when God didn't even put you in that situation, that becomes a terrible thing. So standing as a single man in this video, talking from a single point of view, it has its advantages and disadvantages. All them lonely nights you be laying up wishing you had somebody beside you. And here's the thing about us fellas, we're going to get hard. We're going to get horny, and we be having these thoughts in our mind. And don't sit there and act like you don't fight with this stuff at home, because you a lie and the truth ain't in you. I know people that's married that's fighting with it because their wife ain't giving them none. And you wonder why so many men are going out cheating and getting busted. Women are too. It's on both sides. Being single is tough. But at the same time, you can learn a lot from being single. Because when we are single, a lot of times we are unbalanced. Because God never put us here to be here by ourselves. That's why he made woman also. That's your help meet. Sad thing is a lot of people done kick their help meet to the curb, and then you got people walking around there saying, I don't need a man. I don't need a woman. Yeah, you do. You need a good one. That's what I catch that. You need a good one. I ain't saying you need a bad man. We got enough bad men and bad women already. We got enough children already out of wedlock that don't know who their dad is. We got enough men on child support. We got enough men in the penitentiary. We got enough baby mamas out here in this world. This is the prices that you have to pay behind these mistakes. And I'm not saying children are a mistake, because children are a blessing. Matter of fact, the children, none of us even asked to be here. But we here and we deal with it. And you got people telling their child that they ain't nothing, they ain't gonna grow up to be nothing, and they sorry. No, being single and dealing with, here's the thing, when you being single and trying to date a woman with kids, very tough. Because that woman has been running things for so long her way, she has became the woman and the man, and you don't fit in. And soon as you try to fit in, you fit out. You have to wind up leaving. This is why I stay single a lot also. Because it's hard to date a woman with kids. And I'm not even going to lie about that. I have done it more than once. More than once. It's very difficult. But it's not so difficult when a woman got their kids in order. Because some of these children growing up, they need somebody to look up. All of these children need somebody to look up to. But the sad thing is they looking toward the streets. And then when they run to the streets, we want to down them and talk bad about them. You see them with their pants sagging and all this stuff. Try to encourage them. I know some of them going to cuss you out, but at least you tried to say something to them. Try to reach out to them. Half of these young kids, they going to cuss you out. But what's a few cussing words? It's the way you do things. See, but we so holy and die, we ain't no earthly good. I don't have no problem when I walk up to somebody and spark up a conversation with them and tell them about the Lord. I don't quote scriptures and bringing no Bible up to them. What's up, little homie? That's how I'm going to go at them. Man, what you doing with that basketball in your hand? I'm just trying to have fun. Then you start talking. You become a big brother. So what? You ain't the daddy, but you become a big brother. See, that's what I miss about nowadays that we had back then. A lot of men back then they didn't care about, oh, if I'm your dad or not. When they told you to do something, you did it. If they told you to pull your pants up, you did it with no back talk. But this is why single men don't fit in with women when they got kids. Then you got some men bringing their luggage, all their children, with a woman that already got all their children. And then you just got a house full of kids and a bunch of confusion. Trying to make it work. See, if you're a Christian man, you ain't got no business shacking up. Uh-oh. But how many Christians are shacking up? They ain't thinking about getting married. They don't care. See, when you keep living wrong, it should hit you after a while. And if it don't hit you, something is seriously wrong with you. There is a way to live. That's why I talk about Christ-like, but we don't live it. We shack up, we hoe around, we fight with porn, we fornicate, you name it. All this stuff, all you got to do is open the doors of the church and look inside of the church now and see what the churches are filled up with. Homosexuality, hoes in the choir stand, hoes on the praise team, musicians sleeping around, deacons sleeping around, preachers sleeping around. This is just the truth, but not every church. So I talk about what's really going on. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. All these women becoming pregnant. It takes two. Look at the abortion. So when you are single, you take that time to work on self. Yes, you deal with this flesh. You a Christian. You ain't dead. Your things still get hard, don't it? It still rises up. You got a problem. The problem is, the answer is, what are you going to do when you're dealing with that problem? You either going to masturbate, you're going to try your best to pray it off, and then when you start dating, you're getting close with this woman and she want to hug up with you. Uh-oh, there's a problem. You hard trying to cover it. You're going to fight with it, no matter who you are, saved or unsaved. Sin applies to all of us. I'm going to leave on that. Be blessed.